What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. I'm here with Eric. Say what up, Eric.
What up?
And after an eventful Premier League weekend, we are back here again with more predictions, probably to make some bad picks again. But let's get right into it. All right, we got West Ham versus Chelsea first up.
So last week Chelsea took the draw against Fulham 0-0. West Ham took the draw against Newcastle 1-1 last week. Honestly, what I'm looking for in this match is Chelsea to make a comeback with all their signings from the window being closed and Chelsea making a whole lot of moves. I'm looking for them to come back in top form and outperform a kind of lackluster West Ham squad this week.
Yeah, I agree with you there. West Ham's been playing all right, and Chelsea not so much, but can't really go against Chelsea here. I just feel like if I do, it's going to backfire on me. So I'm going to have to go with a Chelsea dub.
Yeah.
Next up, Fulham, Nottingham Forest.
Okay, so Fulham, like I said, took the draw 0-0 with Chelsea last week, which was a little bit of a disappointment for Fulham, but it is what it is. Nottingham Forest took the 1-0 lead or win over Leeds. I said last week, I talked a little bit about McKennie and Navas maybe not making an appearance in this game, but they both did. With Navas in the squad, it's going to be a good game. I think that, Nottingham are looking in good form right now. Fulham taking the draw against Chelsea. They probably should have eked one out over them, but I'm going to take a draw in this match. I think that Nottingham's going to play to win, and I think Fulham's going to try to keep their position, and I think it's going to end in a draw.
Yeah, I could see a draw here, but I'm going to go with a Fulham dub.
Yeah, it's a solid shout.
Next up, we got an interesting one. Tottenham coming off a great win against Man City. That's pretty huge for their team. But Leicester City is definitely going to put up a fight nonetheless, and sometimes Tottenham struggles defensively. So what do you think about this one?
Yeah, so you look at Tottenham's 1-0 win over City last week. They put up a great performance. They took the lead. They won the match overall. Pep said in a post-game interview, coming to London is tough, but hey, Tottenham played and they played well. Leicester took a 4-2 win over Villa last week. Honestly, they're looking in really good form. It's tough to say no to them, but quite frankly, I think that the way Tottenham is playing right now, they look like a good squad. They're playing strong. They're playing good. Leicester's also in that situation, but I think overall, if I have to take both squads on a good day, I'm taking Tottenham.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Coming off a Man City win, I just find it hard to pick against them. No discredit to Leicester City. They could definitely win this, but I'm going to have to go with Tottenham.
Yeah, it's fair enough, and I want to come back to beating a team and seeing what happens this week later.
And then another interesting one after the past week, Arsenal versus Brentford. Arsenal getting upset by Everton, which was insane. Probably the craziest thing that I've seen all year so far. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so with Arsenal taking the loss 1-0 to Everton, which is, to be quite frank, an interesting turn of events considering how good the Arsenal squad is right now and how in kind of disarray, for lack of a better term, Everton have been this year. But it is what it is. I think that Arsenal really needs to make a comeback. Brentford, on the other hand, they took a 3-0 win over Southampton. Now, Southampton isn't the greatest squad. They're fighting relegation, but it's still a win, and it's still a good match. I'm going to take Arsenal in this match, even though they had the down week last week, and Brentford's looking on the up and up right now. I'm going to take Arsenal with a bounce back because they really need to keep their lead against City. They got a bailout from City losing to Tottenham. But I'm going to take Arsenal over a very good and high-performing Brentford squad right now.
Yeah, I agree with you there on all those, but I think I'm just going to take the storyline of Arsenal's struggles continue a little bit, so I'm going to go with a draw here. I definitely see Arsenal winning this match, but I'm gonna just go with a draw. That's final answer there. So.
That's a solid shout, and I think it's really going to depend on what Arteta wants to do with the squad and how he's going to have them bounce back. I think we're really going to see how this Arsenal squad takes, a loss in this part of the season when it's this close, and I think it's going to be good to see.
Yeah, this weekend will be definitely a big defining moment for Arsenal in their title race. So moving on to Crystal Palace versus Brighton.
Yeah, so Crystal Palace took a loss last week to United 2-1, but they put points on the board and they played well. They are playing Brighton. Brighton's looking like a good squad. They took a 1-0 lead over Bournemouth last week and they won that match. Currently I'm looking at Brighton to take the win over CP. I think that both squads are very good. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. The attacking game is going to be fun. I think that if the Brighton defense can keep up with, a higher paced, Crystal Palace attack, I think it'll be, a good game to see. I'm going to take Brighton in this match.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Brighton is playing pretty well, and I like what I've been seeing from them, so I'm going to have to go Brighton. Moving on, Southampton versus Wolves. Wolves coming off a big win against Liverpool 3-0, right?
Yes, so, yeah. Wolves beat Liverpool 3-0 last week, which is a real tough loss for Liverpool and a real great victory for Wolves, kicking them out of the relegation spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Wolves here, keeping that momentum going, and just I'm kind of pulling for the Wolves in this one too. So
Yeah, so this is a bottom of the table match right now. You got Southampton, who took the 3-0 loss to Brentford, and Wolves, who took the 3-0 win against Liverpool. Wolves look like the strong squad with their performance against Liverpool, but Liverpool have been struggling recently, and it's kind of tough to see. But I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going to take Wolves. I'm going to think that they're going to keep the momentum rolling. And unfortunately, I think that Southampton will probably return to their form of how they've been despite the 3-0 loss last week. But I just don't think it's going to be good enough to beat Wolves.
yeah, I agree with you there. Newcastle versus Bournemouth. Newcastle playing exceptionally well this season. What you think there?
So Newcastle drew last week, 1-1 with West Ham,
Mm-hmm.
and Bournemouth lost 1-0 to Brighton. Currently, the season's been good for both of these teams, and I think it's going to be a good game to see. I think if Newcastle can get out and play the way that they want to play, they can take the win on this. I think if Bournemouth can kind of flip it on its head and take more control of the situation, I think they'll have it. Honestly, this game could go either way. I think I'm going to call for another draw. I think that Newcastle is going to take the defeat or the draw against West Ham last week a little tough. It's going to drag them, and I think that Bournemouth are going to capitalize on that and take a draw.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, but I'm going to have to go with the Newcastle win. They're in that top 4 spot for Champions League, correct? So they're having a good season. I think they're just going to continue to push forward in those terms, but I could see a draw. Bournemouth, nothing to shy away from there in that matchup. But moving on to Leeds, Man United. You think Kevin Rashford is going to go off and keep Man United rolling?
Yeah, Rashford's going to keep his run going. I think he's going to lead the squad. I think he's going to keep playing how he has been. He's been in great form recently, and I don't see him really stopping anytime soon. Quite frankly, I don't see many of the players on the United squad stopping soon. With the loss of Casemiro, though, because of the red card last week, it is going to be a little interesting to see what happens in the midfield, but, the game is the game. You got to have players. I think that United's going to take the win here. I think that Leeds, with the addition of McKinney, are looking like a better squad, but quite frankly, with the form that United's in right now, it's just tough to say no.
Yeah, Leeds kind of becoming exciting for us to watch as Tyler Adams and McKinney are on that squad now, so we got some Americans there to watch. But Man United, I think it's just going to be too much for Leeds to handle. I hope Marcus Rashford keeps his run going. I'm really happy for him and the form he's playing. It's pretty exciting to watch. So I'm going to have to go with a Man United dub. Moving on to...
Well, hold up. Wait a second. I do want to add one more thing that I did forget. Leeds did let go of their manager over the weekend. So they are in a little bit of that kind of limbo spot where things are kind of different. It doesn't affect Prem teams, all that much, but it is probably going to be in the back of the players' minds, wondering what's going to happen with their club. So
Yeah, be a little bit of a different feel out there. Um,
Yep.
so moving on, Man City versus Aston Villa. Man City definitely going to be looking for a bounce back and pushing for that title still. They are still in that run. Aston Villa, you think they'll be able to slow Man City down?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think City has it. City needs to make the comeback after their loss last week when they really should have gained points on Arsenal. I think that City is going to, play hard. They're going to play to win. I think that Villa is going to play their hearts out. They're going to be out on the pitch playing to win, but I don't think that Villa is going to be able to fully compete with City in the pitch right now. But we do have to take into consideration some off the pitch things that are happening with City right now. And, even though the current financial debates and issues that are happening within the City organization don't directly affect some of the players, but they are going to be weighing on them and their performance. So I think that City will take the win. I think it'll be a good thing for the club, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the players just don't quite look like they're all out there.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. I think Holland, we might see a couple goal game from him, hopefully. Something exciting from him. So I'm going to have to go with Man City dub as well. Our final match of the weekend, Liverpool-Everton. That should prove to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean this is a great, competition between these two teams. They always put their all on the pitch and they're always ready to play. It's really just going to come down to a major issue here of how these teams are going to play. When these two teams play, it's always, it's a battle. It is what it is. But with Everton taking the 1-0 lead over Arsenal last week and Liverpool losing 3-0 to Wolves, this is really going to shake things up. If Everton can take the win again over Liverpool, who aren't the greatest squad, but are still holding, higher middle of the table, you have to genuinely consider them a better team than I think a lot of us think they are. And if Liverpool lose this game, you're going to have to seriously consider them to be a worse team than people think they are. I think that whatever happens, we're going to have to kind of reevaluate our definitions of these teams, unless it, of course, ends in a draw. But I personally think that Liverpool are going to try. I'm going to take a draw. I think that Liverpool are going to try, but quite frankly, with the form they're in, it's tough to say that they're going to win. It's really disheartening as a Liverpool fan.
Man, I'm going draw too.
Yeah, it's really disheartening to see what's happening with Liverpool, and it's really exciting to see what's happening with Everton.
Yeah.
But currently, I can't look at the two teams and go, Liverpool's going to win or Everton are going to keep the run going, because both of them are in that situation where it's really tough to tell. But I'm going to take a draw.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see Everton quite drop out of the Premier League. So I think they got some of the fans pulling for them. But that's going to be all for our video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your predictions or